All right, let's do this. Welcome back, fellow Shopify entrepreneurs. It is not winter, it is spring. But we have to look over Shopify Winter 24 editions. This year's editions is called Foundations. Every half year, Shopify releases in what is called editions, either a winter or a summer edition, 100 plus foundational products and improvements that they brought to Shopify and the platform. And it's all fancy and it has all kinds of fun things. And we're going to be going all of this in this video because as fellow Shopify entrepreneurs, we know how quick the Shopify platform changes. And one of the best ways to maintain your competitive advantage is to always be informed and always be educated on all the changes coming to the platform. If you've been following me for a while, you remember me covering Shopify Summer 23 editions, the last editions that we had, Summer 23. And this was a big release because back in the day, back in 2023, we had a big influx of AI in our everyday lives and in our businesses and in our work and everything. And so Summer 23 was extremely exciting, extremely compact, had a ton of new features, and it was the first time that it introduced AI tools that are coming to the platform. But Summer 23 was a big hit. Excellent, ton of great features and extremely well presented. So that has given us this year Shopify Winter Editions 2024. So right away, when we open the page, we see this is our home screen. And this isn't just nicely put together. This is actually showing off maybe some of the more important features that we're going to go over. And see some sparkles here, which indicate Shopify Magic. And Shopify Magic is Shopify's suite of AI tools. We can see a AI tool being used here in the product photography section. We also see some product swatches and some new ways to assign products from one product into multiple columns, and we can go into that in a little bit. The same thing here. We see a lot of updates when it comes to POS if you have a point of sale device. And then of course on the right side here, we have an icon that looks like a coin with the shop logo inside. And that is because there's some updates when it comes to Shop Cash and Shop Pay and these sort of things. So the first thing we see here is surprisingly not about AI. The first thing we saw last time in summer editions was the first few pages were all about AI. One of the top themes that is going to be covered in this edition is conversions, and that is because Shopify says that they have discovered and released the largest update to the product model in over a decade. And this is a little bit of a broad term, but as we can see scrolling down the page, there are a few things when it comes to product taxonomy and product variants and the user experience on the admin and apps. And that is why they're displaying this first and foremost as the most important change. So the first three things we see here on the left side, we see the helmets that we saw on the above. And this is a feature called Shopify Combined Listings. Unfortunately, it's only exclusive to Plus. So on this channel, I like to educate beginner Shopify entrepreneurs, experienced Shopify entrepreneurs, but definitely not Plus entrepreneurs. So if you're interested in the combined listings or you're a Plus member, you can read more into that. But one thing that they did add when it comes to product merchandising is a whole new updated taxonomy map. That is what is displaying in this picture above here. So essentially, product taxonomy is how your products are categorized. This can include a lot of things, like it's showing an updated model here, but more familiar if you have a Shopify store and you look on the admin. This is a way that you can increase your visibility. This is a way that you can increase your analytics to be more accurate. And this is why on a product page, when you have your product page like this, on the right side of the product page from the Shopify admin, you have things like product category, product type, the vendor and collections, and then tags, of course. And this is all to do with product taxonomy. And so essentially, without getting too deep into it, we can see what it's talking about here. And we can see that there are added category meta fields in the category section. If you were listing this shirt, that can help organize, enhance analytics, classify information, and automatically generate variants. And then on the right side here, it says it's mentioning APIs that can support 2,000 variants per product. Again, this is kind of developer stuff. This isn't something you need as a beginner Shopify entrepreneur. So we're going to move down some of the sub headlines that we see right at the top of the editions page, but don't get their own fancy little picture like this. They have a whole new variant card. Now I noticed this in my Shopify admin, and I'm sure you did too if you have a Shopify store. And that is why I just released on my channel a full tutorial video on how to correctly manage your variant options, your prices, your pictures into one tutorial video, because this is a big change. It was a little bit confusing for me at first, and I've been running Shopify stores for years and years and years now. And so I thought I'd make that video for anybody who would have the same concerns as me. You can check out my channel for that. They're saying here that you can make it easier for buyers buyers to find and buy your products by adding color or pattern swatches directly on your product listing. This is a color swatch. And this can be used for all kinds of things. So instead of maybe just picking a variant selector in the pill format here to select the size small and then select another variant selector for the color, they're adding an easier way to add color swatches for the colors instead, and color swatches that represent two colors in the product. However, this is in early access and isn't out yet. A couple other smaller updates here mentions different ways that you can access your media files with the single file picker, and then the new way that they have arranged the meta objects and the meta fields in the online store editor. Moving right along, we do see one big update here, and this is to do with search. So we can see this icon here, and this is the icon for the Search and Discover app. It's a Shopify made and developed app. It's free. If you're not using it, I highly recommend it because there's not really any downside to doing it, but it essentially is a way for organization. When customers come to your store and they search something, they search for an item in the search bar like this, the Search and Discovery app is a way that you can edit what results show up in what order, what products you want to see first pop up, maybe your best seller, what to do when somebody searches something and nothing pops up on the page. All these little adjustments that customers will never see but are super important for the back end of e-commerce can all be done in the Search and Discover app. So they've introduced a new feature called semantic search, which means it's smarter search that better understands a customer's intent. So we're just going to read this out here. So semantic search is one of our new AI-powered storefront search features that goes beyond keyword matching to better understand the intent behind a customer's search. Customers can use more natural words and phrases and get richer, more relevant results. But it says exclusive to Shopify Plus, members only at this time. Since the Search and Discovery app is a free app that anyone can download, I have a feeling perhaps this might change. This option here, the semantic search option, might change to more users down the line. But if this is a new product update, a lot of the time Shopify releases these things for a certain plan or a certain country, and then over time they release it to more and more plans as more testing is done and those sort of things. And so this is also a really interesting conversation, because up until AI was invented, searching and customer searching, Google results and SEO and all this had to do with keyword matching, keyword optimization, and these sort of things. So now if we are switching everything to new AI powered storefronts, who knows what that is actually ranking. If I type in pants and nothing is ranking for pants, maybe the AI will be able to discover and show the most relevant beanie to my customer, for example. So that is opening up a whole new conversation when it comes to search engine rankings and ranking and SEO. And if these things are starting to be powered more and more by AI, how do we as business entrepreneurs optimize our storefronts for AI? We have a simple update, but very nice and pretty, of course. And this is for the Shopify subscription app. Again, so this is the icon for the Shopify subscription app. And this is another free made and developed app by Shopify, and it is for subscriptions. As if your business can introduce a subscription-based model, how all businesses are trying to adapt nowadays into subscription-based model, you can earn increased recurring revenue, and that's really, really good for your business. So the Shopify subscription app has been around for a long time. It was in summer 2023 editions, but now what they're saying is the Shopify subscription app is now in full release. You can easily set up and manage subscriptions directly from Shopify admin and give customers the flexibility to modify or skip subscription orders directly from their account, their customer account. There's a lot of apps that deal with subscriptions. It makes sense for Shopify to make one as well that can be added to the checkout like this, and be added to the product page like this, and the checkout like this, and then be able to be used straight from your admin. A couple more quick updates we have here that are also nice. It's interesting to see what they decide gets a nice little feature like this, and then bulleted point smaller feature like this. But anyway, we have some new features here that aren't super new. They mentioned some information here about the Shopify Bundles app, essentially just increasing the amount of bundles per bundle from 10 to 30. That was released in the Shopify changelog not too long ago. You are now able to add discounts and meta fields to draft orders. And then of course we have some new types of discounts to enhance buyers, and that is the buy X get Y promotions and the different types of discounts that you can make there. Moving along, right below that, we have another giant featured collection here, and this is about customizing Shopify checkout. Now, unfortunately, this is also another plus feature. Essentially, if you run a Shopify store, you know this, that you can customize a lot of pages, a lot of areas extensively on your Shopify website, but one page that completely lacks almost all customization is the Shopify checkout. And so Shopify essentially is saying is that you can extend the world's best checkout with APIs and more features with checkout extensibility available on Plus. And maybe one day they'll extend that down the chain a little bit to not be available to Plus, because you do want the ability to customize every area of your website. Right below this, we're still talking about the checkout. So Shopify checkout released months and months ago. I'm not sure why it's here, but the new one-page checkout design, I've made a lot of videos about this because it was a big deal at the time. It's just very old now. But essentially before, Shopify had a 3-page checkout system, 1, 2, and 3, where you would enter your shipping information in one, your billing information in another one, and then your payment information in another one. And they found that when customers switched from screen to screen to screen, click next, 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 the conversion rate would decrease. So they wanted to increase the time it would take for people to convert and also lower the bounce rate. So what they did is they made a new streamlined approach using the one-page checkout design that makes checkout faster. And it says the one-page checkout reduces buyer completion by 4 seconds, while our infrastructure improvements have accelerated checking out loading speeds by up to 95%. That is all good things. You can activate this now if you're on any plan. Go to the theme editor, go to settings, and then you can check in the checkout bar if you want to choose 1-page or 3-page. With these optimizations, I would use 1-page. This tab here is just saying how a Shopify Plus store, Monos, very popular business, uses checkout extensibility across multiple stores and their story behind that and how they've used it. And then on the right here, we have some updates to some apps. New apps are constantly being updated and uploaded to the Shopify App Store, I'm sure every single day. So what they're saying is there has been 90 plus apps added to the world-class ecosystem of 400 plus apps since summer 23 editions. Moving right along, we have another feature here for Shopify Checkout where it mentions the keyword checkout sheet kit. And this seems to be a developer tool. So if you're designing an app, you can include a customizable checkout with something called checkout sheet kits. So we're not really going to cover that. That's more developer stuff. Moving right along here, we have an update for Shop Pay, and specifically Shop Pay Installments. So Shop Pay Installments is a way for a customer to pay off a purchase in installments. So instead of paying $100 now, you can pay $25 times 4 payments to help with large orders and large purchases. And now that they added a little feature here that you can see, it will actually show different options at checkout for the customer so they can make a more informed decision, which is all good. And then of course we have another, not a new feature, but I suppose a plug for Shop Pay. I'm sure they're always updating this, and Shop Pay is an integrated feature that also works with the Shop app. And so it's another way to increase conversions and increase conversion time, because with Shop Pay, if you have a Shop account, your information is saved already. So if you pay with your Shop Pay account, your information is saved and pre-filled essentially to make faster conversions. And then it also helps with tracking and communicating with the business if there's any orders. So Shop Channel, Shop Marketplace, and Shop Pay are kind of all integrated into the internet's top performing digital wallet. Look at that. And then here are some of the features as to why using Shop Pay for customers would be beneficial. We can move along because we have a little bit of a larger update here that does deserve its own little panel. And this is for the storefront performance section. So if you're a Shopify store owner like me, you would have seen that in your site speed metrics, this is what you'll see now. It used to be a lot less information than this, and now they've added 3 panels here. And this is because there's a new web performance dashboard, and this says you can track and optimize your storefront performance with trusted insights across 3 core web vitals: loading speed, interactivity, and visual stability. With our new web performance dashboard, over the past year, our infrastructure is 35% faster, and we've expanded our global points of presence. I might do a whole video on this one because I'm sure this is a pain point for a lot of people. But the bottom line here is that they're just trying to communicate how Storefront performs compared to others. So what Shopify has done is it has used a tool here that is Core Web Vitals by Google's widely adopted Core Web Vitals, and replaced the old Speed Score. Yes, that's what it was called, the Speed Score. Rest in peace, Speed Score. So this is Google's Core Web Vitals, and it's a public tool that you can use, and you can plug in your website here, and it will tell you all kinds of metrics: load times, how to optimize progressive webs. And one of the coolest features with this is that it's a lot of tech jargon, but it does, if you look at it, help you identify maybe the slowest loading areas of your store, or the slowest loading media file, or the slowest loading picture or page. And so it is helpful, especially if you break it down into these columns. But this right here is essentially what you see on the core Web Vitals dashboard. It's almost identical because they're integrating that tool into the admin, and so they're going to show their tool here. This is my experience with speed and page speed. I've run multiple Shopify stores over a long time now. I've never had my speed score ever say like amazing. This is the fastest website ever. There's always little issues. There are times that it goes into poor. Most of the time it sticks into the moderate or medium, or, if you add images, videos, anything of these high file types into your store, it's going to slow down the store. There's no way around that. And Shopify does a good job of like automatic file compression. So even if you compress your bigger files using external tools, Shopify kind of already does that for you a little bit. So the bottom line with this is, if there's no noticeable difference consistently, over different Wi-Fi, over different data, over different devices, if you consistently open your store from whatever browser and it is not loading consistently 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, then you might want to invest some time in optimizing your speed. But I would definitely not go crazy on trying to get these all into perfect or good, because an online store has a lot of pictures and a lot of large media files. So it's honestly impossible to do. It's not something to lose sleep over, but these are just insights to help you understand how your website performs to others. And if there is a problem, for example, if you're running your online store like this, and then one day you see your speed score dip significantly, you would want to investigate what happened on this page, on this day, and see maybe if an app wasn't installed, maybe a large file was installed, maybe someone edited the code or anything like that, and it created a large problem. Now you're seeing a significant trend, then that's something to investigate. And that's all it's kind of telling you here. And that's my spiel on store performance. Let's go. One of the biggest updates for Shopify POS for the in-person sales terminal is their release of the new POS terminal that looks like this. And they have this fun little graphic here that shows you if you have your card and you tap it, boom, and pay. That's not the feature. Obviously, everybody knows about tap and pay, but essentially is what they're showing here is their new piece of hardware. So if you're running a POS store, you need a hardware upgrade. They have recently introduced this new checkout POS terminal, so you can sell reliably at the counter by accepting tap, chip, swipe, and power your busiest days with solid Wi-Fi and Ethernet connectivity backed by Shopify's 99.9% platform uptime. You can keep your brand right on the front of the device, and you can easily capture customer emails, offer one-tap digital receipts, and easily collect emails and marketing opt-ins by tapping into ShopPay's extensive buyer network. Of course, like anything, especially with POS, the region you're in plays a big role. So if you're in POS, maybe check out these options, because they've also added a ton new extensibility to the POS's admin. Essentially what they're doing here is they're taking a lot of features that are in the normal Shopify admin and they're adding it to the POS admin. So you can control everything from the POS grid and from your POS screen device instead of going to the admin and doing a lot of things. They're bringing a lot of admin features and putting it on the POS device, which is good. That's a good optimization. So one thing that they're doing is they're allowing you to change the UI extensions across locations in the admin. If you have multiple locations and multiple hardware devices, you can do this through the admin, which is a good optimization. This is the smart grid right here. So they've added a new smart grid editor in the admin to reduce setup time with the new smart grid. And they've also added an ability right here. I think this came out last month in the changelog, that you can customize your receipts to match your branding with some POS receipt updates here, which makes a lot of sense. Obviously, you want to put your brand everywhere. Every receipt has their brand on it, and now you can do that with the Shopify POS. Like I said before, we have a big block here, and this is just taking more admin controls and putting them specifically onto the POS device. So it says you can easier fulfillment from retail locations. So it says it's now easier for retail staff to fulfill orders online with fulfillment tasks directly in the POS. They can also pick, pack, and ship orders with help from the new ship from store feature and index menus in the orders. So you'll recognize the order screen here and the different colors from the admin, but the key feature here is that they're doing it all from the new POS device, which will save a lot of time for a lot of people. We have a feature here on B2B. B2B is exclusive to Shopify Plus, so we're not going to cover much of that in this video at all. but there is a new B2B theme called Trade. They're adding some headless capabilities to B2B, which is a new way to design online stores that involves a lot of coding and special features like that, and some additional custom promotional bundles for B2B. We have moving right along, we have a section here for Shopify Markets Pro, and this can affect a lot of people. Shopify Markets, everybody knows you can sell in multiple markets if you go to your markets and settings screen in your admin, but Shopify Markets Pro is a way to simplify your international selling with Markets Pro, now available in the US. And so essentially when you're selling internationally, there's a lot of things that come into play like taxes and duties and shipping and all sort of things. And so if you need extra help with this sort of thing, there's an option called Shopify Markets Pro, and they take care of a lot of these extra burdens for you. And this is not a free service. This is a paid service. And then essentially when you make an order, you'll see another transaction fee for the Markets Pro service. A couple new updates here. Another one for the Shopify Markets Pro. They've added a new standard option with DHL e-commerce courier, including delivered paid duty shipping labels and no order minimums. For Shopify Markets, not Shopify Markets Pro, you can now filter your markets and have analytics per market. That's actually extremely useful. A very good idea. And it's just easier to look at the market section and look at your market specific data to see how everything's improving. And this is the Translate and Adapt app icon here. So this is another Shopify made and developed app that helps you automatically translate your storefront so that the storefront can be seen in the market specific language. They've improved the search in the Shopify Translate and Adapt app, which now supports global search across all languages for store resources. App users will benefit from an improved navigation experience that makes it easier to quickly find resources for translating. This app I always find always pops up in changelogs and in editions, and is one that is always updating because selling in markets with different countries and different languages and different shipping is also always improving. We are in the marketing section now, and the first thing we see is Shopify Audiences. Shopify Audiences is exclusive to Plus members, but essentially it's a tool that helps Plus stores target their audience and retarget their audience for very specific key metric ad performance from within the Shopify platform. There's a few features that are important to know. For example, here we can finally see our shop coins that we saw at the very, very top. And essentially the reason for this is that Shop Cash is now Shop Campaigns. We saw this come out in the changelog, maybe I think last month, and it just says Shop Campaigns is expanding. So you can attract buyers on the Shop app, the web, and soon Meta and Google. Oh, you can keep driving orders on Shop at a fixed cost per acquisition. But one of the main changes here is actually the name is changing from Shop Cash to Shop Campaigns. This is a fun little thing. If you sell in the Shop app, Shop Marketplace, there's different ways that you can customize your shop, how your shop looks on the Shop app. And one of the ways you can do that is something called Shop Minis, which is really fun. Shop Minis is essentially a way that you can make little mini videos like this and make your store look like this. And it's a partnership with apps like Tolstoy, VideoWise, Showday, Shop Quiz. So you can customize more the way your shop looks on the Shop app channel. They've also added a small AI feature into the Shop channel where it says the Shop Assistant gets smarter across services with complementary product ideas and suggestions. The AI-powered shopping assistant helps shoppers discover the best product for their needs, now online in the app. And essentially what it says here is that the Shop Assistant uses ChatGPT to have more of a conversation about what the actual product the customer is looking for instead of typing in a keyword for a product. Again, that creates a conversation for businesses on how they can optimize for what the AI is telling the customer or how they're optimizing for that. That I'm sure will be the conversation of e-commerce for years to come now. There's a small feature here that just caught my eye. It says a switch between multiple stores in Inbox. So Shopify Inbox is another made and developed free Shopify app that allows you to kind of put a little chat bot in the corner of your store that can enable live chat with you. Essentially, if you're online, you can then edit answers for common questions, and then it can also email you. And if you're chatting live, you can also convert a live chat to a converting customer. It's a really good app, highly recommended as well. And one thing that it added here was to get notified for messages on all your stores and quickly switch between stores using the store logo selector, no login required. So if you have multiple Shopify stores like me, you can now switch between stores for all your messages all in one place. That's a good feature. There's also another little feature here for Shopify Forms. Shopify Forms is another main developed app so that when someone lands on your home screen, it's Shopify's solution of creating a form for so many different things to essentially capture a customer's email, because email marketing is super important, one of the most important principles in e-commerce. And so whenever you land on a site and you see a form that you pop up and you usually click the X on, Shopify Forms is Shopify's solution to that. And it is saying that if you have a specific form that you need to watch closely, you can now get an email, a notification when somebody submits a Shopify form. Moving right along, I see a big portion here for reviews. Now, I've been in the Shopify game for such a long time that I remember when Shopify had its own reviews app. I don't remember what it's called. I think it might have just been called Shopify Reviews or something, but they don't have this app anymore. And so they're leaning on their app partners like Yacht Paw Luke's Judge Me is very popular, Okendo and Stampede.io, to allow you to put your verified reviews on your store in many different ways. They've also added, so essentially what they're doing is they're helping these partners get these reviews in multiple places. So if you install one of these apps, essentially you'll get like a widget and then sections and blocks that you can implement everywhere on your website. One little update that they've added here is the ability to put these reviews on the shop channel, so that it syncs across all of your channels. But then it can also generate reviews in your online store to include a verified by shop badge to build even more trust with customers, because a lot of stores, who knows who's putting these actual reviews in. Maybe it's just the store owner putting these reviews in. And so verifying reviews is definitely a topic that is gaining more attention. So we go right here at the bottom, we see a section on operations, and this is where we see Shopify Magic. We see Shopify AI. It's so hidden. It's actually like concerning me, because in Shopify 23 editions, it was the number one thing and it was super exciting. And we see some AI being introduced in different places today, but 6 months later, we don't really see much of an update with this as much as we wanted. A few new features coming, but it's concerning how buried this is as well, to take the focus off of AI for a second, where the whole world, all we want to know about is AI and how different things are working. But anyway, like I said, Shopify Magic is Shopify's AI suite of tools, and you can identify a Shopify Magic tool by looking at sparkles, these purple sparkles in the corner here. These are usually purple, like this color here, and they're small, and they're usually found beside content sections. And then you can use the Shopify Magic and the Shopify AI to help you with that section. So essentially, in this excellent update, let me not take away how cool this update is. This is an AI optimization for product photography and AI generation. So obviously back in the day, AI came out and it was extremely important with content generation and has changed that game. But now we can see that AI is changing the game when it comes to video creation, image creation. And so this is the new, biggest, baddest Shopify update there is when it comes to AI. It says you can create professional product photos with the new AI-enabled image editing features, instantly generate, match, or remove the background of your existing images using just a few clicks or keywords. No design skills required. Available in early 2024. And so essentially what we did there is we put in a prompt to describe the scene, the background that we wanted. And then we generated it. And this is how the admin would work essentially. And so it seems to crop and analyze the picture and then take your prompt and put the prompt into the background of the image, which is very, very good. This would take a ton of graphic design work to implement, and beginner Shopify entrepreneurs just don't have time for that. So we're using AI in many different ways. Now we're using it for product imagery, and we can see a free tool here that would help us with this, because product imagery is extremely important. And so instead of gathering products and creating your own little photo shoot and then maybe trying to edit those products yourself for a consistent look and tone, this will definitely optimize the speed of that process by using AI instead. We can see an update on Sidekick. So this was the biggest feature that was launched in Summer 23 editions. Sidekick is the AI assistant in your admin. So we can see in the Help Center, for example, when you type in a prompt, the AI helps you find your answer. But the Sidekick is a AI specific tool for your specific store, which knows your specific store's analytics. It knows your specific store's discounts and all these things. And so this is an AI for your store. So it says here that they're building the best Sidekick for your business. And it says, imagine having a Shopify expert always in your corner. Sidekick will act as a personalized, deeply competent, incredibly intelligent advisor, guiding you with skilled and tailored advice so you can achieve much faster. And you can click the little sign up button here for early access to Sidekick. But since Shopify Summer 23 edition, when it was first announced, and to now, I haven't seen any really updates on this. So if you're interested in this, I would highly recommend signing up. I've signed up for some of these things in the past. I've never been selected. You know how these things go. Moving along, we have another Shopify tool here where it says you can tell your story with content crafted by Shopify Magic, where you can complete new pages in your store more quickly with AI. Ask Shopify Magic to write an About Us, an FAQ page for your business to help customers build in your brand and these sort of things. And so this is essentially what it would look like. Again, you enter your prompt here of what you would want it to generate. You can change your tone. You can give it a up or a down, add some filters and generate it again. And it will give you some suggestions where you can choose to keep it or discard it or generate it again to help with your content creation in all different ways like that. And then it is showing a case study with this store glitch anomaly and how they can write speedy SEO copy with Shopify Magic. Anything to do with content, you can really use AI to help generate that for you. Copywriters would definitely be feeling the pinch in their industry with AI. As we can see in this case study, it usually takes 25 to 30 minutes to write product descriptions that are optimized for SEO. With Shopify Magic, it generates them within a minute. This is also a really important thing to mention here when it comes to data privacy. They've launched built-in tools for managing privacy and compliance across markets. So in the video here, it's showing you that they've created a brand new section in your settings bar here. And then when you click the settings bar, the customer privacy notification, you'll see these things pop up. How to add your privacy policy, what kind of cookie banner you want installed, and the data sales opt-out page at the bottom so customers can confirm or deny if they want their data saved from third-party apps and these sort of things. So it says you can increase buyer trust with intuitive privacy and consistent management tools. Privacy settings now live on a centralized page come with the recommendations on which settings to activate and are configurable by region. And you can try that now. Moving right along, we have another thing here that says it's about Shopify lending. And this is the only lending portfolio made for e-commerce, because with Shopify and Shopify Capital, there's a lot of ways that you can gain lines of credit and loans and these sort of things like capital loans, cash advances, term loans, line of credit, and these sort of things if you're interested in that. And we have some new features that highlights the flexible line of credit, the term loans, and the feature where you can earn more money on your idle cash by gaining an annual percentage yield on the money in your free balance account, much like a savings account. Moving right along, there is an update here that we saw in the changelog for the Shopify Tax system, where you can simplify your filing with the US sales tax report. And so it says there is a little optimization here where you can save time and stress with the Shopify US sales tax report if this is applicable to you, where you can filter specific periods and specific states, and it kind of looks like this in a single report. Another thing that caught my eye here is because I did a video on this when this was first talked about a few months ago, and this is a Shopify app called the 3D Product Models app. It's actually not an app. I think it's just a scanner or something for iOS. So I did a whole video on that. Check out my channel if you want to see this. I've heard very positive things about this and very negative things. I've never actually used it myself, but essentially you have your product that you take a physical picture of and you walk around it, scanning it with the app, and then it creates a 3D model that looks something like this. And it's really interesting to read your guys' comments on that video for people who've used it and people who have not used it. If you wanted to give it a try and let me know how it works, that'd be great. We have a little feature here for Shopify Flow. Shopify Flow is another made and developed app by Shopify where it helps you automate some tasks. So here we go. Here's a good demonstration of the flow. So essentially you add a start action and it says start when the customer birthday is today. And then you add if the customer's birthday is today, then do this, run this code based on this app, and you can select all kinds of triggers and create all sorts of flows if you didn't know already. This can get kind of complicated. It's not super beginner friendly. It's definitely not needed if you're just starting out, but it highlights some of the features here with Shopify Flow. And then lastly, in the shipping and operations section, we can see a feature that helps a lot of merchants here with always on address validation. So no more failed deliveries and address correction fees or lost sales due to invalid addresses. Now addresses in checkout are automatically validated and corrected for free where possible. And that's always a great thing. I've noticed that in my stores, so that's fantastic. And then the last large section here is Shopify exchanges. So when you place an order, it kind of looks something like this. And it says that they have improved our post-purchase experience by adding native returns to Shopify. Now we're introducing native exchanges too. Easily create, track, and manage exchanges for any order from the admin, available in 2024. So that is coming, or it might be out yet. I haven't personally used that. And this is also very specific to your type of business. For example, if you're dropshipping and you don't have the physical product to offer exchange, this can get quite complicated, but obviously an optimization for those who need it. And then lastly, they've also added a new AI feature to the App Store where you can, instead of search just for an app, you can type in more of a sentence or a prompt or what you're trying to achieve, and it will give you apps that fit that prompt in perhaps more accurately. So it says you can get AI-powered guidance based on your specific business challenges, search topics like simplify the return process or let buyers customize products. And our new guided search will show you the best apps and features for the job, which you can try now. You can also compare apps side to side, see upfront permissions for smoother installations, and search for apps right from the admin as well. I find that kind of confusing when these come up. But that is it, guys. That is winter editions, because if we go down here, we will see all the updates for developers and code and these sort of things that are not native to Shopify entrepreneurs. But that is it. Tell me what you guys think of this editions. There are some new features that are very helpful. I'm a little disappointed on how much new AI content we have. I'm sure we'll see a lot more in summer editions, as that would be 1 year since they talked about Sidekick and Magic and these sort of things. Again, if you wanted to stay super up to date, you can subscribe to my channel, as I do a once a month video on the Shopify changelog for all the new features, improvements, removals, and that sort of thing to improve your business. But for winter editions, those are the more important updates that you need to worry about that affect your plan and your business, that aren't plus features or anything like that. So let me know if this helps. Leave a like on the video if this has helped you anyway. Leave a comment for the most important feature that you noticed and you want to implement right away. Let me know what you think about this. Check out my summer 23 coverage as well, because there's a lot of content in there for AI and new products and features that you can sign up for early access as well. And if you run a Shopify store and you just want to join a free community of fellow Shopify entrepreneurs so we can all come together and learn from each other's business experiences, consider subscribing. And if you do, I will see you in the next video.